We saw Flintlock Siege of Dawn touted as one of the next upcoming exciting games that we should be ready for, and guess what? Flintlock Siege of Dawn is out. Previously a demo was available, but now it's available for release and purchase. I'm Fox and
this
is RealMarcFoxx, your home for rational, reasonable, real gamers. Let's roll that intro.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
The Xbox Games Showcase featured it, advertising it as a Day 1 Game Pass title, so I'm sure lots of people got real excited for it, right? Well, unlike most platforms, Steam gives us some very hard numbers to work with. Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo want to leave you wondering how popular a game is, but Steam tells you straight up, and guess what? Flintlock Siege of Dawn is a
total flop.
You would have never guessed, Sweet Baby Inc. being involved, the wokeness, the main character being switched from a male white to a female black for no reason other than DEI, that
destructive evil influence.
And yes, it's got that almost patented weird aesthetic that many of these woke games have. They just look a bit odd, like off, like something about them doesn't look right. And I think I've figured out what it is. When you hire a company like Sweet Baby Inc., what ultimately ends up happening is that they tell you to change things for no other reason than DEI. And when you change things for influences outside of the game, they don't fit within the game, and so they look odd or out of place. Last I checked on SteamDB.info, Flintlock had an all-time player peak of 648 players. That is unbelievably low, considering how much publicity this got and how the woke crowd really did push it. Given the game's new release state, and given that it's a Day 1 Game Pass game for both Xbox and PC, you would think there'd be far more interest in it. Now, granted, it is not free to play on Steam, I know that, but we don't have those Game Pass numbers, whether for Xbox or PC. What about review scores? Clearly, reviewers love this game, right? Well, no. Even the woke reviewers don't like this game. It is getting scores squarely in the mediocre. The best way to describe Flintlock Siege of Dawn is painfully mediocre. It's one of those games that falls so strongly in the middle that it doesn't really do anything well enough to be worth playing, because there's plenty of good or great games to play, but it's not bad enough to just have fun making fun of it because it's mediocre. It's in the middle. It's just not worth anything. And you have to ask yourself, how many of the current players of the game and those in the all-time peak are simply playing it to blast it for being woke? I know several are. Synthetic Man likes to play woke games just to rail on them, and I disagree with that. Don't play it. Don't buy, don't download, don't play, don't do anything with them. That way the numbers stay
nice and low.
Even the anti-gamer propagandist websites that love woke garbage are still calling this game meh. This is a hard kind of game. So yeah, even the woke crowd is having a hard time trying to spin this as a positive. From clunky controls and movement to performance issues, bad writing, a messy story to subpar graphics and lackluster music, this game just elicits that hardcore from players who are giving it a real shot. Truth is, there are too many good and great games to play these mediocre woke slop games. Even ACG, who avoids getting involved in the culture war, can't help but blast this game for the failure that it is. Do I take pleasure in woke games failing? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that woke should fail because real gamers, those who care about video games and play them and enjoy them for the video games, not for the agenda, real gamers don't want woke. We've seen this time and time again. We just saw it with Concord. Concord, free beta, absolutely free, no charge, is an utter and complete failure, according to the Steam numbers. So, I'm glad that wokeness is getting the proper response that it deserves. Disdain and no purchases. But I'm also sad that a developer who could maybe have made an otherwise decent or even good game ends up making woke slop because of influences outside of the game, influences outside of the developer in most cases. They hire these consultation companies like Sweet Baby Inc., they come in, they ruin it, and then the game bombs. To any Flintlock developer who's watching this, who worked hard on this game and is not woke, I say this to you. I'm sorry this happened to your game, and you and your game deserved better than to be dragged down by woke garbage. I anticipate that A44 Games will suffer some serious consequences from this, up to and including layoffs and even a closure of the studio. Their previous title, Ashen, didn't bring even a fraction of that level of controversy, and it seemed to be an okay game. I myself bought it, but then again, I didn't really look too deep into whether it had any connections to any of these DEI consultation companies. Back when Ashen first came out, we weren't really aware that this stuff was going on. It's sad to see a game fail because of DEI influences outside of the game, but at the same time, that's what should happen. Because if these games succeeded, they would continue to make these garbage, woke, slop titles, and gaming as a whole would go
Downhill.
Remember, guys, don't download, not even for free. Don't buy, don't play. Don't boost the numbers for these garbage titles. Do your best to avoid supporting any woke games and developers, and let the market do its thing. Bury this trash. And hey, if a few otherwise decent companies have to go under because they cave into the woke agenda, well, that's the market doing its thing, and the gaming landscape as a whole will be better for it. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, notification bell icon, leave a comment. I read every single one of them. Consider joining the channel like Drunken Dwarf and Fornelius Nolan, and also consider picking up a copy of my novel, New Tokyo, available on Amazon, link in the description. And as always, my friends, for Fox's sake, stay real, keep playing, and never forget, woke is trash.
Thing sucks! Alrighty then.